Hey guys, it's Daniel. Welcome back. If you like Nirvana, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I have a lot of Nirvana related videos here, including interviews I've done with Steve Albini, Jack Endino, and many others. In today's video, I'm going to take a look at Breed. Breed is the fourth track off of Nirvana's second record, Nevermind. Nevermind, of course, being released on September 24th, 1991. However, the story of Breed begins back in 1989. In the fall of 1989, Nirvana and fellow Sub Pop band Tad went to Europe for their first overseas tour, and it wasn't exactly a glamorous tour. It was a 42-day, 37-show European tour, which is pretty cool, but the transportation the bands had to get them from show to show was not exactly the best. Craig Montgomery, Nirvana's live sound mixer on the tour, recalls the following. It was cold. Our van was crowded. You couldn't really sleep well in it because there were 9 of us sitting shoulder to shoulder. It was tough. There was always somebody getting sick. There were blow-ups. There was tension within the Tad band for just normal interband stuff. And it just gets worse when 2 bands are crammed together in a van for 8 weeks. In addition to being crammed tight into an uncomfortable van for the better part of 2 months, the rental equipment the bands had to perform with weren't the greatest, and at times it frustrated the band members. Nirvana biographer Gillian G. Garr points out an example of when Chris Novoselic destroyed some of his gear out of frustration. Chris smashed his bass through his amp during the very first show. It's been said he did it in response to being hit in the head with a beer bottle, but Craig Montgomery suggests the quality of the band's rental equipment may have also played a role. The gear that's been rented for both bands to share, it's not really a great fit for the way they play. It was frustrating. The amp was clipping out before it got loud enough and not making enough low end. I don't really know what motivated them to smash gear, but on Chris' part, probably some frustration and probably a lot of alcohol. So he started smashing his bass into the bass speakers. Less than stellar van, less than stellar gear, there were a lot of lackluster elements to that European tour, but arguably the worst part of the tour for the bands was the fact that people kept getting sick. The bands didn't have a lot of money to spend, so they resorted to eating whatever they could at the venues, which usually weren't the healthiest choices, or whatever they could afford to get on the road, which, again, usually weren't the healthiest choices. Kurt's stomach problems started acting up in particular because of this, but no one had it worse on that tour than Tad Doyle, the lead singer of Tad. Kurt Danielson, the bassist from Tad, recalls the following. Tad Doyle was having unfortunate and terrible diarrhea as a result of drinking too much and eating really bad English food, like tuna and corn pizza. I don't know what else was on it, but it was stuff that shouldn't be on pizza. And another thing that was really bad, I like lamb, and kebabs can be really good, especially Armenian kebabs, but if you get one from a bad, cheap shop in the middle of the night, chances are you're going to get sick. And indeed, that's what happened. And so Tad Doyle had this terrible case of diarrhea that lasted for days. It was the basis for a lot of jokes. But it wasn't just the basis of jokes. It actually, in a way, became the name of a Nirvana song. The diarrhea medicine Tad Doyle took to quell his problem was called Imodium. In honoring Tad Doyle's diarrhea medicine, Kurt named a Nirvana song Imodium. Now, the first known performance of Imodium was on October 8th, 1989 in Nebraska. And it's been noted that even at that point, during that Nebraska performance, the song was indeed titled Imodium, which again was named after the diarrhea medicine Tad took on the European tour. However, here's the thing. The European tour with Tad happened after the Nebraska show. So, therefore, how could Kurt have already named the song Imodium based on Tad's diarrhea medicine in Europe, considering Kurt had not yet gone to Europe with Tad? So, it does beg the question, during the October 8th, 1989 performance in Nebraska, was the song at the time actually called Imodium? And if it was, then it couldn't have been inspired strictly by the medicine Tad took in Europe, because Tad hadn't been to Europe yet with Nirvana. So there is a little bit of contention here with this point. And this is one of the things I love about looking into the backstories of bands, because even when it comes to a band as big as Nirvana, there are still certain things about the history of their songs that aren't 100% clear. And it's fun to try to find the answers and fill in the blanks. So if any of you guys watching this have an answer for whether or not the song was actually called Imodium on the October 8th, 1989 show, let me know below. It may have been called Imodium. I believe it was, but that means it couldn't have been inspired strictly by Tad's medicine in Europe. So yeah, guys, let me know below what you think. And I also just want to quickly mention that if you do enjoy my videos, the best way to help ensure I can keep making these videos is honestly just to subscribe. I don't have a crew or anyone helping me make these videos. I do all my own editing, all my own filming. So for me, really, every subscriber goes a long way. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. It really helps me out. Going back to Imodium, what we do know for sure is that by the end of the European tour with Tad, the song was indeed titled Imodium by that point for sure. If you listen to the song though, even the demo versions of it, there really isn't anything in the lyrics that suggests the song is about diarrhea medicine. It's been stated that Kurt named this particular song Imodium in order to suggest the running on of the mouth, of people just talking. From April 2nd to 6th, 1990, Nirvana recorded with producer Butch Vig at Smart Studios in Madison, Wisconsin. Of these songs, one of them was Imodium. But by this point, it wasn't called Imodium anymore. By this point, the name of the song had been changed to Breed. To me, the song comes across like Kurt is, in a way, having a conversation with you, the listener. In real life, when we have conversations with one another, we often say things like, he said this, or she said that. You know, that's just a normal part of real conversations. And I think that's what Kurt was trying to capture, in a sense, by repeating she said throughout the song. As a matter of fact, she said is repeated 33 times in the song, which has also led some listeners to believe that the lyric she said may have additional meaning to it as well. If you look at the lyrics to Breed, it seems to me at least that the song is about being hesitant and sometimes fearful of letting go of adolescence and moving into adulthood. The fact that throughout the song he repeats "get away from your home" and "I'm afraid," I think emphasizes that it even comes across as a conversation between two people, the first person telling the second person to move out, and the second person replying by saying they're afraid and uncomfortable, which is a very normal feeling a lot of people have when they're first faced with the prospect of moving out of their parents' house. It's a song about maturation. It's been said that the song is about the apathy and fear of teenagers in America, but I do believe that it's more so than just that. I do believe that the song is about maturation. And I think the line "she said" may potentially be the line that proves that to be true. It's been suggested that the line "she said" may potentially be an allusion to the Beatles' song "She Said, She Said." "She Said, She Said" is a song which appears on the Beatles' 1966 album Revolver, and thematically, the song deals with things like inadequacy, helplessness, and fear. It's a Beatles song that's been interpreted by many as a song about how people need to, grow up and deal with their lives. Considering Kurt was a Beatles fan, he likely knew of this song, so it's not a big stretch to imagine that potentially the line "she said" in Breed may be a nod to the Beatles song "She Said, She Said." The title of the song, Breed, may itself be an allusion to building a family, to reproduction. So, throughout the fabric of the song, there are many examples which point to the idea that Breed is indeed a song about maturation. Musically, Breed is a very upbeat, high-tempo song. As mentioned, it was released as part of Nevermind on September 24th, 1991. Though it was not released as a single, Breed remains a popular Nirvana song amongst fans and critics alike. For instance, Breed was ranked 4th out of 102 Nirvana songs by Rolling Stone magazine in 2015. To date, there are 2 known studio recordings of Breed. The first was recorded during the April 1990 Smart Studio sessions with Butch Vig. This version of the song has Chad Channing on the drums, and this version was released as part of the 2011 Nevermind Deluxe CD. The second version of Breed was recorded in May of 1991 at Sound City Studios in Los Angeles by Butch Vig. This version of the song has Dave Grohl on the drums. This version was released on the original Nevermind CD and a rough mix as part of the 2004 With the Lights Out box set. There are also 5 officially released live versions of the song. If you guys like this video, again, the best way to help ensure that I can keep making them is to subscribe. If you like this video, make sure to share it with your friends. Thank you for watching.